The Russian Witch. Dmitry is a Russian paranormal investigator who left the business for a while for unknown reasons. Now, his triumphant return has him investigating an abandoned building rumored to have housed a Russian witch, where now all manner of strange goings-on happen right before our eyes. Watch.
Кто это?
In his efforts to discover the witch's secrets, Dmitry has set up some static cameras. And that's when he realized he was never alone. Things started moving by themselves. Did you see that? A door that opens and closes by itself. And what's the deal with a wardrobe? What is going on here? Please tell me that's not some kind of secret underground portal to hell. Come on, Dmitry. What are you doing? You're not going to go in there, are you? Nope, he didn't. But this is what's so annoying. There was something clearly making that underground door shake, yet he didn't go and move it to see what was there. Was it an animal or something like that? Nothing like staying at home to complain about what the paranormal investigators should have done, but didn't, right? If only Ben was there, I'm pretty sure he'd Rambo it.
What?
Praying is where the religious find their comfort, protection, you name it. But for this guy, it didn't quite offer that safety blanket he needed. He absolutely cleared those chairs in one fell swoop. Can you blame him as well? There doesn't seem to be any signs of strings at all here. And how would all of the chairs fall simultaneously? And did you notice the strange figure hovering around near the black chair? It still looks humanoid, yet translucent. The capture of the video explains that in the call center where the video was filmed, events like those happen all the time. Looks like it's time to get Ghostbusters in there. Who knows? Maybe the next time you get through to a switchboard, the voice on the other line might not be quite human.
This guy's had it with the strange stuff happening around his house. He's been dealing with objects moving on their own, creepy noises echoing through the walls, and an unsettling feeling like someone's watching him, lurking in the shadows. Spooked but curious, he decided to take matters into his own hands, so he set up a bunch of security cameras all over his house, hoping to finally catch whatever it was that's been haunting his nights. And well, he got more than he bargained for. Take a look at what the cameras captured. Now things didn't stop there. What used to be just weird noises and moving objects escalated. This time, we've got full-blown shadowy figures wandering around the house. You can see them, creeping along the walls, almost like they didn't want to be seen, but the cameras caught them anyway. Could this house really be haunted, or is this just an elaborate hoax? Whatever it is, it's enough to make you question what might be happening in your own home. Because think about it, if this guy hadn't set up those cameras, he might have never known what was lurking around. How many of us hear a bump in the night, brush it off, and go back to sleep? Maybe there's more happening when the lights go out than we realize. One thing's for sure. After seeing this, you might want to think twice before turning off the cameras, if you even have the courage to sleep at all tonight.
While setting everything up for the evening and getting his cow fed, this guy was just conducting his usual routine. But then he noticed that something else seemed to want to give him a hand. Considering the video was taken outside, unless someone were lingering on top of a roof, we would see some kind of shadow if they were pulling buckets to and fro or up and down. So what's going on? Normally we hear that animals are pretty sensitive to spirits, but that cow is either oblivious or does not care one jot. But the scariest thing here isn't the moving debris. Something translucent seems to be hopping around the area. Did you catch it? What in God's name is that? You can see it again later on, but further back. Now, if there's one universal rule in horror, it's this. Anything vaguely humanoid that starts crawling towards you, bad news. Sure, this could be some clever editing, but let's be real. If you saw that thing skittering towards you in real life, would you stick around to fact check? Yeah, didn't think so.
This figment is the last thing one would hope to meet while returning to their apartment, and luckily so. Take a look. The video starts off showing the long corridor of an apartment, but soon things get mystifying as a bright blob of white light darts across the room in a manner that freaks out the mind. It almost looks like a star, or formless force of energy compacted together, as though it was the purest form of a soul wandering the hallway, searching for something that belonged to it, or someone. The video seems very legitimate to those who watched it, but what about you? Do you think this is real paranormal footage, or something else? Let us know. This next scary video is all about one guy's brave attempt to get answers once and for all. He's been feeling a weird presence in his new place, like something was watching him, lurking just out of sight. So instead of ignoring it, he decided to set up 2 cameras, one in the living room and one in the kitchen, to catch whatever might be messing with him. His plan? Stay put, try not to freak out, and see if he could communicate with, well, whatever was sharing the space. Sounds simple, right? Well, let's just say things didn't exactly stay quiet. Keep watching, because what these cameras caught is going to give you goose pimples for days. Take a look. Imagine settling down for the night, everything quiet and peaceful, but suddenly you hear it. A book falls off the shelf, thudding against the wood. It's jarring, but you figure maybe it was just placed wrong. You try to convince yourself that you're perfectly safe, but then it happens again. And again. But when he thought he'd seen the end of it, more objects decided to join the spookfest. A bottle in the nightstand gets knocked over. A drawer slides open on its own, and the rest of the poltergeist shenanigans. As he hears the havoc, heart pounding, his belongings continue shifting around the room. The plant pot by the window starts to wobble before crashing to the floor. He tries to keep his breathing steady, but it's impossible. Everything in his room seems to be moving like it's alive. The air feels heavy, and every tiny noise seems 10 times louder in the dead silence of night. Could it be a restless spirit? Or maybe the room itself is reacting, disturbed by some unseen force. One thing's for sure, sleep is the last thing on this dude's mind as the paranormal activity kicks into high gear. Things aren't just falling over, they're being moved with purpose. Whatever's behind this doesn't want peace, it wants attention. And it's not stopping until it gets it. The night comes to an end, and so does his nightmare, or so he thought. Because when he least expects it, this happens. Imagine dealing with this night after night. Would you stick around, or would you bail? He seems ready to throw in the towel, and honestly, who could blame him? It's not unknown that the best time to capture something truly unnerving is at night. But the idea of what exactly just happened here is completely up to you to decide. Watch and see what we mean.
Hey man, y'all check out across the street. Watch this light come on before this nigga come in my yard. Watch this. Y'all try to explain it to me. Look at this light come on, y'all. Now why did? Look at that shadow right there. Look, what the f that? Look, y'all. Y'all see that? He's just stopped right there. Look, look. Now here come Buddy. Look. Look at that across the street. Look. Why this? Look across the street. Look, look, look. What the fuck is that? Why wouldn't he take off running? Why that thing chase him?
The video itself has a narrator who explains that a figure that shouldn't be there is seen. The video shows a motion detector light turning on and revealing nothing. Yes, you heard us right. Soon we see a figure brazenly walking down the street, unconcerned by anything, but too faded without any visible legs to be called a human.
Look, y'all. Y'all see that? He's just stopped right there. Look, look. Now here come Buddy.
As the video goes on, we see an actual human appear in the video across the street from the figure. The person heads to their car in a cautious manner that would fool even you to believe they've seen the figure. But then the person opens the car, grabs a bag of goods, and runs down the street, as though it was a theft.
Why wouldn't he take off running? Why that thing chasing?
To make things more complicated, the figure races after the person, out into the shadows and out of sight. Did that shadow truly try to stop a thief at work? And how was it moving so freely without a solid form? If it's not a spirit, what else? It's hard enough to keep your house clean, but when you have a messy spirit staying with you, it's almost impossible. You can tell right away that this TikToker's friend is very fussy about his living space and likes to keep order in the house, especially when he has friends around like tonight. But the ghost who shares the apartment with them isn't keen on guests. You see, it's not the first time strange things have happened in this house, and as much as they like to keep it tidy, the ghost has other ideas. Ah, if only we had a static camera lying around. Oh wait, we do? Of course we do. We always do. Let's see what caused the chaos then. Surely the ghost is not to blame, right? Caught in the act. But this ghost has a criminal record. Check out what was caught a few weeks earlier. Wow. Okay, now things are getting weird. How the hell do you fake that? It's not like you can perforate a porcelain plate without smashing it to bits, right? If this was done by string, there's none to be seen. So what is going on here? Maybe this TikToker should hire a ghost behavioral therapist to explain why so much aggression is not good for his spirit? Did you see what I did there? This person was innocently taking videos at an abandoned home with her friend, looking to buy and renovate it. But little did they know that they weren't the only ones there. Although the footage seemed like there was nothing out of the ordinary, the state-of-the-art property gave off a completely different energy. While they were in the hallway, checking out other rooms, one of them sensed something odd coming from the room next to them. The dark energy was so intense, she stopped the conversation they were having to figure out what was going on. What happened next as they turned around made them realize that they had more than renovations to deal with. Take a look. Did you see that? Let's slow that down. Looks like those renovation plans might need to wait indefinitely. After catching a glimpse of that horrifying pale figure with those deep, soulless black eyes and that nightmare-inducing smile, can you blame them for bolting? Whatever's lurking in that abandoned home clearly has no intention of being a welcoming roommate. The question is, was this just a random scare? Or is the house holding on to something far darker? Would you even dare step back inside after seeing something like that? Or would you be on the phone cancelling that real estate deal faster than you could say, "Get out"? Let us know in the comments. The Calvton Hatch secret nuclear bunker at Calvton Hatch in the borough of Brentwood, in the English county of Essex, is a large Cold War nuclear bunker. Since being decommissioned in 1992, the bunker has been open to the public as a tourist attraction. It's also haunted.
Oh, with the Kung Fu tune. No, no. Are you still Kung Fu? Honestly. I've done it for 3 years. I couldn't get your Cheeto. I smoked.
This video, taken by visitors, shows a curious inhabitant, but you'll miss it if you don't look closely.